Join me to paint a beautiful autumn leaf floating on still water. Even if your leaf sketch isn't perfect, you can still create a beautiful autumn leaf with the right colors. This is the sketch needed for this painting. You can copy it onto your paper before starting the painting process. I start by wetting the paper around the sketch. Once the paper is wet, I begin painting the background with ultramarine blue to show the sky reflecting on the water. Now I'm adding a little Prussian blue on the left side of the paper, and then I continue with ultramarine around the leaf. Next, I'm using indigo on the left side of the paper. I'm using a medium value for all these blue tones in the background. Now I add darker patches of indigo to hint the shadow of branches and leaves on the water without painting any details. Now I'm using tip of a size 8 round brush to carefully define the edges of the leaves with ultramarine, and then I let the paper to dry completely. Now the paper is completely dry, so let's focus on the sketched area of the leaf. First, I wet the leaf area and I paint it with a mix of Naples yellow and cadmium yellow. I add more water to create a light value for this first layer. While this first layer is still wet, I mix Crimson Lake with cadmium yellow to get an orange, then add a touch of ultramarine to create a brown, and to achieve a pinkish brown, I add more Crimson Lake to it. I apply this color to the leaf in areas, allowing some of the yellow from the first layer to show through, as you can see in the video. After applying this pinkish brown in a medium value, I use a darker value of the same mix to paint the shadow areas of the leaf. You can follow along to see where this darker shade goes as you paint with me. Now I'm adding the veins of the leaf using the same brown shade on my palette. Now I'm wetting the stem area and paint it with light value of brown. After that, I add indigo using the wet on wet technique to create the shadow on the stem. Now the paper is completely dry. We have to add the reflection of the leaf on the water. For that, I'm going to use indigo pigment. To do this, I paint a mirror image of the leaf. The leaf tip points upward, so for the reflection, we paint it downward. For the areas of the leaf closer to the water, I add a dark value of indigo to define a subtle reflection there. Similarly, the stem points upward, so its reflection goes downward. Using this simple concept, you can easily paint the leaf's reflection on the water. Now I slightly darken the indigo pigment in the reflection area. That's it, we have completed a beautiful autumn leaf floating on water. I hope you enjoyed watching it. See you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.